What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Lindsberg, and welcome to For Real Automotive, where we are for real about everything that pertains to cars. Today we're going to talk about, should you lease or should you purchase? Which one works for you? Which one is better for you? And I'm going to give you some insight that you might not know about leasing a vehicle or purchasing a vehicle. So first, let's talk about what a lease is. A lease is a short-term loan that you get from an automotive company that could be 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years. It gives you the opportunity to get a more expensive vehicle for a lower price because you're only paying for the portion of the vehicle that you're using for those particular 2 years. Leasing is also a great option if you don't drive a lot, which means every 2 to 3 years you can get a new vehicle with the latest technology and ride in style. When should you purchase a vehicle? Most people purchase vehicles to have a vehicle to own. That means after you finish paying your 6, 7, or even 8-year loan, then you own the vehicle. So today I'm going to give you some pros and cons of both leasing and purchasing so you can make the best decision for you and your family. So the benefit of leasing a vehicle means that you get a new vehicle every 2 to 3 years. The sweet spot in the financial world of leasing is a 36-month lease. That 36 months gives you an opportunity to drive a car worry-free, a new vehicle, and pay a fraction of the cost. Now, there are some keys to getting that fraction of the cost. That's if you are currently leasing a vehicle, if you have access to certain discounts, and the most important thing is down payment. Yes, you can sign and drive for the lease, but if you put money down, that helps to reduce your monthly payment. So one of the biggest cons of leasing is the mileage. If you go over your miles, you are responsible for those miles. Now, to get the best payment, normally it's a low mile lease, which is 10,000 miles. But you do have the opportunity for a 12,000, 15,000, even an 18,000 mile lease. But if you go up that high, you're going to pay for those miles up front. So if you are a person that might drive a lot, leasing might not be the best option for you. One of the pros of buying a vehicle is that once you pay for that vehicle, it's yours. If you want to change the rims, you want to change the color, if you want to add certain leather interior to that vehicle, it's yours to do whatever you want with. One of the biggest cons of purchasing a vehicle is once you drive that car off the lot, it does depreciate. And to get that great monthly payment, you're normally going to go 6, 7, 8, maybe even 9 years to get the great monthly payment that you could get if you just leased a vehicle. Another pro of leasing a vehicle is at the end of that lease, if you want to walk away, you can. There's no commitment to that particular vehicle. You can go to another brand or you can go to another model within that particular dealership or brand. One of the biggest cons is there's no early termination. You are responsible for that lease. So if you want to get out of it early or if you go over your miles too early, you have to fulfill the contract of that particular lease. One of the pros of purchasing a vehicle is once you pay that vehicle off, you have cash value. However, it's going to take a long time to pay that vehicle off. And if you want to get out of that vehicle early, you could trade it in. But if you haven't paid it off, then you're responsible for the remaining portion of that loan. Another pro for leasing is you don't have to worry about depreciation. What that means is you're only using the vehicle for a certain period of time, and that's what you're paying for. However, a con of leasing is that you're responsible for that vehicle. So how you take it off the lot is how you got to bring it back. You're responsible for any dents, dings, windshield cracks, anything of that nature you're responsible for. One of the pros of purchasing a vehicle is you don't have to worry about excess wear and tear. It's your vehicle. If you want to drive that vehicle for 10 years, you can. If you want to turn it in early, you can. That's the beauty of it. You own that vehicle, and you will be responsible for the remaining balance of that loan. So now I'm going to give you an example of purchasing a vehicle for 6 years or leasing a vehicle for 3 years and then leasing another vehicle for 3 years just to give you a comparison to see which works for you. So we're going to put $2,000 down on both vehicles, on the purchase and the lease. The lease monthly payment will be $287 compared to the purchase vehicle being $416. Now that's a big difference. Interest rate on the purchase, probably about 2.9%. There's a money factor on the lease, which is only 0.24, okay? That's the biggest difference. The total paid on the purchase after 3 years is about $16,662. The total paid on the lease after 3 years is about $12,802. It's a big difference. So, Lindsberg, you said 6-year lease. No, I said a 6-year purchase and a 3-year lease. We're going to lease another car for 3 years. We get a new car, another $2,000 down payment, new technology. After the 6-year purchase and 2 separate 3-year leases, there's a considerable amount of money spent on the purchase rather than the leases. This purchase will come up to about $31,500 and the leases will come up to about $24,962. There's a big difference. But there is a silver lining for the purchaser. You do have a value of about $9,500 for your vehicle compared to the person who was leasing. At the end of that lease, they have to lease again. So you just have to figure out what works for you. Do you want to purchase, customize, drive a lot, or do you want to lease and get a new vehicle every 2 to 3 years, drive worry-free, and come see me for real deal? So if you are leasing a vehicle and you go over your miles, there still might be an opportunity to get out of that lease before the end of the term or at the end of the term. You just need someone to be creative to come up with some great ideas to get you out of that lease. Now you can turn that lease into a purchase, or you can turn that lease into another lease. For example, I had a person come in and they were 100,000 miles over on their lease. Wow, 100,000? Yes. And we were able to get them into a brand new vehicle. How? We end up purchasing the vehicle that they were leasing. We use it as trade-in value, and we found a great vehicle with some rebates to kind of soften the blow. But you need someone who's going to work for you, someone who wants to get you out of your situation and into a better one. And that would be me, Lindsberg, Mr. For Real. So I want to know, which one do you prefer, leasing or purchasing? You could drop me a line in the comment section below. And if you have any questions or comments, all of my information is in the description box below. And remember, it's always for real.